Real quick, before you check out this video, I suggest you check out this video right here. It is a reaction video that I did 3 years ago on the announcement on the My Little Pony movie. It'll provide some really nice context before we get right onto this video. Go ahead, I'll wait. Are we good? Great, let's get right to it. What is up, my fellow bronies and Pegasisters? This is Ackleyattack4427 here, and yes, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, the show that has been going on for about 7 years now and gave birth to the brony fandom, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, but even to this day, I am still considered a brony, so yeah, I think the show itself was really entertaining to watch when I first took a glance at it, and it's a brilliant show right about now, even though I haven't been caught up with any new episodes nowadays, So yeah, even to this day, when I first saw it, I am proud to be considered a brony. So yeah, I think when I first heard the news that they're going to be doing a movie based on the Friendship is Magic TV show, I got really excited because I want to see on what direction this movie is going to go towards. And, well, guess what? The movie is finally out. And, well, was it good? Was it bad? Is it one of the much better movies that Hasbro has released so far in their 10-year lifespan of movies? Or is it another one of those movies that we can put in their library of complete duds? Well, let's not waste any more time, and let's find out. So let's get right into the real meat and potatoes of all this. Did this movie live up to my expectations when I first heard about it? Honestly, yeah, it did. Yeah, I think I gotta admit right there, I had a blast watching this movie. So, yeah, I think this movie really lived up to my expectations for when I first saw it on its opening day. So I think what I decided for when I decided that I want to go see this movie, I just don't want to judge it like a really obsessed fan of the show, like I'm expecting it to be Academy Award winning material or anything, or pretty much be like a person on YouTube who would give it like a 10 out of 10 because they really love the show that much. So I think I only judge the movie as, of course, well, a movie. So yeah, I think when it comes to giving My Little Pony the movie treatment, it can be very hard, and besides, the last time the My Little Pony franchise ever got a theatrical release, it did bomb, and that was only back in like 1986. This is 2017, so they have to do something completely different. And yes, the 1986 version is actually real. Go look it up for yourself. So yeah, I had a blast watching this movie, and I will have to say it's not like any other movie I have seen in general. No, it's actually played out like I'm watching a regular old episode of the TV show, and it actually does work out pretty well. On top of that, much like the show, I thought the main six, those consisting of Twilight Sparkle, Pinkie Pie, Rainbow Dash, Applejack, Rarity, Fluttershy, and including Spike, I thought they were really fun to watch in this movie. Like, you actually do feel for them, and you do want to see them accomplish their mission and stop the forces of evil that's about to take over Equestria. And I think I will say right now, I think apart from the characters who were incredibly developed in this movie, much like they were in the show, I thought the plot was actually pretty simple, much like I said, much like a regular old episode of the Friendship is Magic TV show. And I will admit, I think the writing for this movie with that was done by Megan McCarthy, as well as two other writers. I can't even pronounce their names, but I'll put it in text to remind them of who they are. I think the writing they provided for this movie, for while not Academy Award winning material, it's actually really well written, and I thought most of the dialogue the characters were giving were actually pretty good. But like I said, not Academy Award winning material, but could be on the levels of good, but not great. And not to mention some of the comedy that was provided in this movie, well, I think some of it is actually pretty good, while the others, on the other hand, I think they're more towards on the level of Rocky and Bullwinkle for the most part. The movie, not the cartoon itself, just the Rocky and Bullwinkle movie. They were, yeah, because as you can pretty much tell, I think, like I said, for a while, most of the jokes were actually timed out pretty well. Some of the others, though, man, I think I did get a little bit of a chuckle out of it, but not really enough to make me go laugh out loud funny, if anything. So if anything, I thought the comedy that they provided in this movie is pretty timed out pretty well. And I know a lot of you guys are thinking, oh, but what about the animation? What do you think about that? It's way different from the show. Well, actually, yeah, it is very different from what I experienced in the show. Like I really love the ideas that they come up with for the movie, because we know in the show, in terms of the animation style, they just stick it to regular old Flash animation, but here they went all out with this, and I will say, I think the animation in this movie is actually pretty good, almost looking like regular old 2D animation, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, but I did grow up with almost a lot of 2D animated films, more specifically the early Disney films for the most part, and yeah, I will say the animation that they provide in this movie is actually really impressive to watch. Almost looking like 2D animation is coming back to the big screen, but only for a once in a while type of thing. But yeah, and we do know that does kind of suck that 2D animation can only occur every once in a while, but for this movie, I think they really went all out with this. I thought the animation in it is pretty well done in it. Well, some parts of the animation could use a little bit tweaking, but other than that, I thought the animation in it was fun to watch. Going back a bit to what I was talking about earlier with the characters, more specifically the main six and Spike, I thought the new characters that they added into this movie is actually pretty cool, and I do know in the show they do have to add in some new characters in it to tie into the story, so I think for here, this is actually pretty cool to see these new characters in their respective environments. Like, you actually do feel for them, and you want to see them join the main characters in succeeding on their mission. So yeah, I think most of the new characters in it are pretty fun to watch in this movie. Well, except maybe a few, but we'll get to that later. Now, a lot of you guys are thinking, which one of these new characters do I think are the best? Well, I will say this right now. Capper. Abso-freaking-lutely, I really love Capper in this movie, and I think, not to mention, I think Taye Diggs, who actually provided the voice for Capper, actually did a really nice job in making him very slick and very charming at the same time. So if anything, I think getting to see Capper in this movie, I think is probably like the best part in the movie, and the song he sings, I'm the Friend You Need, is actually pretty fun to listen to. And one other thing I forgot to mention, I really love the soundtrack in this movie. I think most of the songs that they provide in this movie is very catchy and very upbeat, and I think it almost does feel like I want to dance around to the music while I was in the theater, but thankfully I didn't, because, you know, it's not the Oogie Loves. And just thank God it's not. On top of that, I thought the new villain in this movie, Tempest, is actually a pretty good villain in this, and I will admit, I think the detail they add into Tempest's broken horn, going back a bit to the animation, actually does provide some really nice styles to it, and the song she sings, Open Up Your Eyes, actually does give a really decent backstory on why she got that broken horn, and why she doesn't want to let friendship overpower Equestria, but I won't go into spoilers for this movie. I think I think you'll just have to see the movie for yourself to know what I'm talking about. And going back a bit to what I'm talking about earlier, I thought the soundtrack in this movie is actually really fun to listen to, and some of the songs that were in this movie were actually very catchy and upbeat. Like, apart from the songs that I mentioned earlier, I'm the Friend You Need and Open Up Your Eyes, I think one of my all-time favorites out of all of the songs in this movie would have to be Time to Be Awesome. I think it's really catchy and very upbeat, and I think incorporating that with the setting of the scene in general, being on a pirate ship, I think actually does pay off incredibly well. And I think a lot of you guys are wondering what I thought of Sia's song in this movie, Rainbow. Well, that too is actually really fun to watch, and I think going back a bit to what I'm talking about with the new character in this movie, I thought Sia's character, Songbird Serenade, is actually very quite nice, and I thought she did a really fine job with this role, and the song she sings at the end of this movie, I think much like the music video that I saw on YouTube, I think the song that she listens to in this she sings to in this movie, I think it actually pulls off incredibly well, but I think I'll let you be the judge for yourself for when you see this movie. Now, is there anything that I didn't like in this movie? Well, I will say Princess Skygar, or should I say Kristen Chenoweth's character in this movie. I think for a while Kristen herself is pulling off a decent performance in this. I think it's not one of her strongest role in this movie. Like, pretty much like the sea ponies that were in the movie, I kind of forgot what they are by this point. I think I will say, I think Princess Skygar in this movie, I think is not that interesting in my opinion. I think I do get why she wanted to get Twilight and the gang to stay with them with the stuff with the Storm King is going on, but I felt that I don't think Kristen Chenoweth is making her character very interesting and very fun to watch. I think this is probably one of her weakest roles in this movie, and not to mention the stuff with the sea ponies that were providing one portion of the movie. I think you could have ended up cutting that part out, and it wouldn't make any difference whatsoever. So, if anything, I think the stuff with the sea ponies, with the exception of Princess Skygar, I don't think flows out pretty well. But of course, apart from the characters that were featured in the movie, I think some of the others that were featured in the show, they actually make cameos in this movie, with some of them being Derpy, Snowflake, or Bulk Biceps, as everyone likes to call him nowadays, the entire Apple family, and the Great and Powerful Trixie, Starlight Glimmer, and a few select others. Yeah, they actually provide some cameos in this movie, so I think I will say they're not bad in my opinion, but I felt like they were a little bit too rushed in general. Like, I do know that we have to get to the cool stuff in this movie, but I think the cameos that were provided by the other ponies in this movie, I don't think are actually flowed down incredibly well, and some of the stuff that we were or should I say some of the characters that we were hoping will make a cameo in this, while some of them did get to appear for about maybe 4 or 5 seconds at most, like I said, it really doesn't pay off incredibly well. So yeah, I think you would have ended up cutting those cameos out, and they wouldn't make any difference whatsoever. So in the end, do I really think that this is actually a really good movie from beginning to end? Honestly, yeah, it did. I think this movie really paid off incredibly well, and I knew I was really excited for when I first saw the announcement for it about 3 years ago. So, if anything, I think this movie is incredibly well done. I thought it was really fun to watch. I thought the story was pretty good. I thought most of the characters are pretty well done. The animation is pretty good, and the songs in it are really fun to listen to and are pretty catchy. And yeah, I think there's nothing much else I can say. It's actually pretty good, and it's, for while it's not a fantastic movie from beginning to end, nor do I think it would be like Academy Award winning material or like Pitch Perfect or anything. I still thought it was a really good movie, and I think this is Hasbro's much better movies that they released so far within their 10-year lifespan, much like Ouija Origin of Evil that came out last year. So yeah, in the end, I think this is actually the one movie that actually convinced Hasbro to step up their A game in terms of movies and actually try to do something good for once, and in the end, I think they paid off incredibly well. So yeah, I guess in the end, I really enjoyed this movie and I really recommend it. So, if you're a big fan of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, or not in general, but want to see it go in a completely different direction and actually have something that actually makes a whole lot of sense in terms of story, characters, and a few others, then I say definitely buy a ticket to see this movie and, well, see it for yourself. So with that being said, I give My Little Pony the movie a very strong 8 out of 10. For while not really Academy Award winning material, but it's actually really incredible to watch whether you're a brony or not. So yeah, if anything, this is actually one of Hasbro's much better movies that they released so far within their 10-year lifespan, but I digress. So what are you waiting for? Grab on your brony t-shirt like I am wearing right now and see this movie for yourselves. Alright, so looks like I finally got this out of the way. So yeah, and I know a lot of you guys are wondering when am I gonna do more videos in general before this year ends. Well, don't worry, I will get right on to doing that pretty soon. I just need to find the right time to do it if I'm not too busy with, you know, college stuff and helping out with my family in general. But for now, I think you'll just have to wait until I release another video in general. So for now, I guess a movie based on My Little Pony Friendship is Magic and that I just saw earlier, and giving my own thoughts on it to you guys is what you're gonna get, and nothing much else I can say. I still adore it for what it is, and seriously, this is a really nice Fluttershy plushie that I feature in almost all of my videos. She's so precious. Yes, you are. And I just realized I just recorded this. Crap. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you have seen the movie for yourself, then go ahead and put down your thoughts on it in the comments down below, as well as leaving constructive criticisms and advice on how I can improve my videos in the near future. And of course, if you have any questions for me or want to book me for a con or an event that's coming up pretty soon, then feel free to send me an email to this email address, backley95@hotmail.com. And if you want to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, then feel free to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, my Blogspot site, and Pinterest. And if you want to see more of my videos coming up in the near future, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching my thoughts on the recent My Little Pony movie that just came out not too long ago, and yeah, I really hope I'll probably do more videos like this in the near future, or not in general, because I think after what I did with my review on the 2016 Ghostbusters movie, I was thinking about doing more, but I was a little bit too lazy to get right on to doing it. So yeah, I think this will have to do. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Take care.